Hi guys, hi everyone joining in. Hope you're all doing well and having a great weekend. I'm Naina Ruhail and I'm back with another live session. Today we have someone really important joining us, and let me just see if she's here. A big hello to everybody who's joining in today. So we'll be talking to and we'll be throwing some light on mental health and some tips on how you can work from home. Hi Pragati, how are you?
All good, Nena. What about you?
All good, all good. How's your Sunday going?
Lovely. I think it's just so nice to see things normalizing, and I'm just having a great Sunday. What about you?
Same here, it's going well, and it's so good to have you here today with us and on our Vanity Wagon page and talking to us.
Thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you so much for taking out the time.
So, one thing I wanted to ask you, Nena, how is it that you have decided to, merge, beauty with mental health? I think it's such a great initiative because for me, preventive mental health is something which underpins everything. If you feel
Yeah,
good about yourself, you're going to look after your
absolutely.
skin, you're going to look after yourself, and you're going to really be inspired to, make some changes which are beneficial to you. So, what's
Correct.
your take to it?
You said it very rightly, Pragati. It's so important to, if you feel good about yourself, it definitely reflects on your mental health as well, you know.
Yes.
And I think that's very important, especially today during the pandemic and now the times we are in. It's very important to feel good about yourself and, take care of yourself, take out the time for yourself and as much as you can because that's what really helps. And so, just to get started, let me just introduce you to all our viewers. I Before you joined us, I just told them that you're a clinical psychologist, you're an author, you've been there in industry for 15 years, and you're also a motivational speaker. And I've had the pleasure to interact with you earlier as well, and I feel so good to have you again on Vanity Wagon and talk to all our viewers and everybody who's joined us today.
Thank you
So
so much, Naina. Likewise, I'm honored to be here.
thank you so much, Pragati. So I just want to ask you a few questions, because we are all in a very tough times, and some of us are working from home, some of us are going to office now. Like we have started, going to work, and the pandemic has been really difficult for each one of us, right? And most of us have had mental health issues, and we've gone through difficult times, anxiety, and so much more. So I want to know, for a layman, what exactly, how do you define mental health, and how can one find out or identify that they are, struggling with mental health issues, or they are, going through depression? How does one find out that? So can you throw some light on that?
Sure, sure. One is when you look at mental health, it's basically, the way you think about yourself. I'll explain it to you in a very simple layperson's term. I'm not going to go into any complicated things. For example, if you say that I'm feeling very angry, I'm feeling very depressed. Now, the same situation may or may not affect anybody. If you see the pandemic, we were talking about that. Most people have been affected. I don't know of anybody who has not been affected. Yet, some people have completely gone to pieces. They have stopped looking after their health. In fact, the other day I was talking to a friend of mine, and her aged mom, she lives by herself, and she's a very stylish woman who loves to go out to party and, meet her friends and not be a burden on her children. But because of the pandemic, she could not even meet anybody. So that social isolation took a toll, and all her vitals went for a toss. So this is somewhere. So if you look at it, sometimes our fear of death, if it hits us very badly, we are not able to cope up. Now, I'll give you the example of another friend. Other day, I met an old mentor of mine. She's in her 70s, and I called her up just to inquire on her, Ki, ma'am, how are you doing? And she's been a doctorate. She's guided me. She said, I'm always good, Pragati. I heard of death of my sister-in-law. I felt bad, but I'm always up and about. I said, ma'am, are you going to the clinic? She works in the rehab home, plus she goes to a couple of clinics. She said, yes, Pragati, and she guides some PhD students also. She said, you know me, I'm always busy with work. And then she shared a story where she said, my computer had conked off and I didn't know what to do. So now I'm learning how to read papers on the phone. I was like, hats off. So this
That's,
is mental
that's
health for
amazing.
you in a
Yeah.
capsule.
Yeah. That's lovely. And so, how does one identify? Like I asked you, how
Yeah.
what are any small signs that you can talk of?
See,
That really.
firstly, whenever you go to someone, and especially if we go according to the DSM-5, which is what we use to diagnose any kind of problems, they see where all are you unable to function properly. We all have three realms. One is, in how we feel about ourselves. Second is our relationships. And third is the way we are at work. So if
Yeah.
for more than 2 weeks, you are not able to, let's say, get out of bed or maintain your basic hygiene, you're not being able to get any sleep, or your sleep pattern has completely gone for a toss. We all are feeling a lot of yo-yo symptoms right now. Either you're feeling bloated, or you're feeling more hungry, or you're just being lethargic. Some people are doing comfort eating, and there are a few who are managing to kind of balance it with whatever is coming their way. And so that, how is any situation impacting you personally? That's the first sign we watch out for. If for more than 14 days your sleep is impacted, your basic mood, your irritability, which just doesn't seem to go away, or the person has not bathed, or is talking about killing himself or herself, or is getting a lot of negative thoughts, that's when you definitely need to reach out. Another vital indicator is if the person, normally if you see couples, sometimes they have tiffs, sometimes they are unable to be on the same viewpoint, but by and large, they have a stable relationships, maybe ups and downs. But here, if there is something for more than 2 to 3 weeks where there is a lot of violence coming in, a lot of verbal abuse which is coming in, or the person who earlier on was very friendly, even if it's casual friends or acquaintances, who would answer your phone call, just doesn't pick up your phone, doesn't respond at all. So you see a drastic change in the communication pattern, or it's gone downhill. Either it's gone aggressive, or the person has completely gone incognito. You need to seek help. You have to understand that something is amiss. While all of us are languishing and we are not able to deal with it, that's the second sign. The third sign is your work zone. You will see even little children, they are grumbling, but they are managing to do their homework. They complain of eye fatigue, they complain of tiredness, but more or less, everybody is managing. But if there is somebody who's just unable to cope up at all, or if it's a person on a job, or if you run your own company, you realize that I'm just unable to do anything, it's severely impacted my work, then you need to seek help. So usually we say 2 weeks, but by the time people come, it's at least a month or month and a half, I've seen, by the time they realize, okay, I really need to pay attention.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that, Pragati. That really helps. My next question to you is that most of us, as I said earlier, also that are working from home, and it can be really demanding. Working from home sounds very easy, but it's not. It's very taxing at times, and it can be super demanding with your family and everybody around. And it can have a this thing on your mental health as well. So what do you suggest? How can one stay positive and stay mentally strong during their work from home days? How does one do that? How do you help with that? Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask you, live in Delhi, right, Nana?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so tell me, in absolute Delhi summers, what did you do when you were walking out of your school and you knew that you were perspiring? What did you do at
Yeah.
that time, if you can remember?
I think I would still do it. I don't. Yeah, because I didn't really have an option.
Yeah. So either one looks for an umbrella, or one just shades, or gets busy
Yeah.
chatting with friends, or you're sweating it out, or if you're having ice cream or something like that, you just try to cool off, or you have a lemonade or something, in the car. Basically, you try and beat the heat. Now what happens is it's the same thing that we have to do in the pandemic or at the work from home culture. You have to do something a little extra to take care of the heat, that is coming your way. Let's say that early on you meditated for 15 minutes, on a regular day. But now you realize that there's just too much responsibility. Maybe there's extra pressure at work. There are kids who are yelling. There may be limited gadgets which are there at home, which people have to share to put in their work. That's
Yeah.
another thing that everybody is grappling with. Sometimes even the physical space, there are a lot of family members. So you may not even have a full room to yourself to,
Yeah.
do your work, and you may have chores to do. So at that time, you have to use your internal and external resources to look after yourself. So what I say, have an issue, give ear to it. Ear is, first you listen to it, and ear is also an acronym for emotional ability resource. So what is it that strengthens you internally and externally? So externally, if you realize that maybe listening to some soothing music in the
Music.
background,
Yeah.
helps me calm down. Another tried and tested way is every hour, take out 1 minute. Try and connect to your higher power, like a serenity prayer or some kind of chanting which works for you. So you practice the pause where you realize, okay, like a machine gets overheated, you just switch it off for a bit and then it's back to normal. But we forget to do that to ourselves, because right now it's like being in a pressure cooker like situation. Everybody has just been
Correct.
put in that same zone. So here the idea is that you don't get burnt out, you don't turn out a mess, but actually, together you manage with the situation. Because at the end of the day, what matters? You are alive, your loved ones are alive. So every point, we have to remember what's important.
Yeah.
Sometimes reading good books also helps out. Like Viktor Frankl, his book Man's Search for Meaning, he wrote that book after he survived the Holocaust. So he speaks about how he found his purpose for living. So here there are friends who are dying, family which is dying, you are in a horrible inhuman condition, but how do you find that strength to live? So I appeal to everyone who is finding the work from home situation challenging. you know Three things that you are grateful for on a regular day. Remind yourself. It could just be that your air conditioner is working. It could just be that you have splashed cool water on your face. Or it could just be that you are deep breathing. So sometimes even these basics that we take for granted, help us be anchored into our own sanity.
Yeah. Yeah. Small, small things make a difference. You know.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
think writing a journal, as you said, you should write a journal, and all the things you're grateful
Yes.
for,
Yes. Yes.
and at the end of every day, and that really helps. That has helped me as well, and
Uh-huh.
meditation also helps a lot. So
Mhm.
those are some great tips that you've shared, Pragati. Thank you so much.
and
So
and
Pragati, yeah,
my way to approach mental health is, what is the easiest that can be done? Because
yeah,
by the time someone walks into my clinic, if it's become chronic, it's not going to disappear. But how can I help someone where he feels that taking care of my mental health is as easy as brushing my teeth? Like it's just there. You see it on the bystand, on the wash basin, and you do it. So for me, I always say, have a good book which makes you feel positive. Have a nice notebook, where you can journal, and a pen. A lot of people these days prefer to journal on the iPad or on the things. So, if you look at biology, all our fingertips, our nerves, the whole idea of holding a pen is it presses some nerves which release endorphins and serotonin in your body. So even that gives a feeling of relaxation. And what happens is, when we talk of gratitude, we have different areas in the brain. I won't take everybody through it because it will go very complex. So there's a different area for problem solving, which is
yeah,
right here, the front of our brain. Then there is the amygdala, where we get overexcited. Normally what happens is, if we fear anything, if we are threatened, that portion of our brain keeps us safe. Then we have a hindbrain which kind of helps us survive. So what we have to do is keep our body in that survival, in that lethargic mode. All is well. I don't have to leap in fear. I don't have to be frightened. Okay, it's a difficult situation, but I can cope. So journaling, meditating, or even practicing the pause every hour helps us just simmer down. And if we are simmer down, our brain actually feels relaxed. Otherwise, the brain gets heated up. It always feels threat from all directions. So
Yeah.
that is something which I really, really recommend.
Correct. That's absolutely right. Pragati, we all think of our mental health and how we deal with it and how we can, what we can do about it. But if we see somebody who is facing mental health issues, how do we help that person? Is there any advice you have that that you should do something like this to help that person out, and even in our family or in our friend circle, if there's anybody who's struggling with mental health issues, how can we help? How can we provide help to that person?
See, firstly, don't invalidate the person. Like normally what happens, if we see somebody like, oh, snap out of it. Why are you
Correct.
so sad?
And most
Why are
of
you
us
so
do that.
depressed?
Most of the people do that.
That's unfortunately not very helpful,
Yeah.
because what happens, the person feels rejected, that
Correct.
I can't, if I'm feeling bad. Instead, what helps is just asking that, hey, I'm a little concerned about you. I'm noticing that that something is on your mind. Use as less what should I say, bristly words, that you are looking so sad, you've put on weight, you are so cranky, you are so angry, you are so irritable. Because that person, if I tell you your
You're
nose
just
is like
poking that
this,
person. Yeah.
the person feels poked. And like we know that if someone pokes us in the eye, all we want to do is defend ourselves. So what
Correct.
helps is really, one, lower your tone down, exactly like you and I are talking. So talk slowly, talk softly, and inquire. Ki, hey, I'm really concerned about you and I would really want to be of help. Is there any way I can help? Is there something that you want to talk to me about? Is there something on your mind? Give that person the choice. And if the person doesn't say something, sometimes, just sit by the person. Maybe if the person's close enough, just hold the person's hand and wait for the person to respond. Like, I remember I was talking to a very senior counselor the other day. He's again in his 60s, and he was sharing his experience about how he counseled tsunami victims, fishermen whose home had just gone away and they were in relief camps. So when he went with his team, what he did is he asked permission. Like, in front of the tiny shacks, he said, may I come in? you know, One of the fishermen broke down. He said, while we've been in the camp, people are treating us like cattle. They don't even ask, ki, can I come in? So the
Correct.
fact that you've given us so much respect means you care about us. So here, if you're reaching out to a family member or a friend, the first message that you need to get across is, look, I respect you, I care for you, and I'm here for you. And that's only achieved when our tone is very non-judgmental. So if you
Yeah.
want to help out, you say that. And if you see one of the symptoms that the person hasn't been getting out of bed, you can say that I've really been concerned, and I, was listening to a live video where they said that if somebody hasn't come out, means, there is something bothering them. So can you, can we talk about it? Most of the time, what people need at this time is human connection. So I have seen, at least it works with most people. If it doesn't in some cases, then I recommend call up somebody and take help. A lot of mental health facilities, including we are offering free counseling service of half
Wow.
an hour. So, just reach out and talk to someone and specifically define the situation which is there. Because in some people, alcohol consumption has gone up, drug abuse has gone up. So there are a lot of ancillary problems which are there. So if the person's not responding, I always recommend that talk to a person who's trained, so they will pick up some symptoms that you are unaware of.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's great. That's great. Some great advice from you. Thank you, Pragati. And I hope everybody watching this is keeping a note of this, and make sure that they help out anybody who's facing mental health issues. Pragati, moving on. Now, as an entrepreneur and I'm having so many colleagues with us and having a workspace environment, I want to know from you how, like, we ourselves try and keep all our colleagues and employees motivated as much as we can and try and do team building exercises. But what is the ideal way, according to you, to have a healthy work environment that is great for every all the employees that you have or all the colleagues that you have? So, what according to you is the ideal way to maintain a
One
healthy work
one
environment?
thing which helps is have a good issue clearing session. Like if there is a forum where everyone can talk about, with some of the HR people, I say that if anyone has any grievances, put it in a complaint box, and we can hash it out. If it's specifically, so in that what happens is one is people went out. If they want any issue clearing, either the HR or the founder, whoever is there, or get a specialist to intervene. If you feel that the team morale is going on, if there's too much of infighting. Like in one of the companies, I remember I had done a workshop because there was a lot of attrition. So it was a software company, and the attrition rate is normally very, very high. So the issue they were facing is the people who came in, all the techies, while they were very good at their work, whenever there was a formal function, everybody wore very formal. When they said dress up formally and come, people would wear Kanjivaram saris or, very jazzy saris with a lot of jewelry and come. And they were very worried, how is it that we tell them? Moment if we tell somebody, the person's just going to quit the job and, go away. But today, if you're sitting with the international clients or you're pitching in a proper corporate setup, it just doesn't send the right signal. So I remember they called me. And so just by chit-chatting, sometimes get someone to talk about these things, see, this is what is the Western dress code. In an Indian wear also, how you could wear that. So someone who can lay it down in a very non-threatening manner, it works. Because like I said, right now it's a Shark Tank like situation for everyone. Even when people are there, someone may be grieving the loss of a family member. Some family member may have been laid out, so then finances may be tight. Children may be feeling edgy because they are absolutely socially isolated. So that time, having someone to really listen really helps, someone who can help with any issue clearance which is there, so that small things don't build up into something major. So I strongly recommend ki have an emotional well-being cell. Either have regular talks, once a week or once in 2 weeks, for someone to come in and talk to people, and where people can put in questions also. So it sends a message that, my overall well-being is important to the company. Me as a human being is being seen in spite of the challenges, in spite of the dipping profits. So what happens is, people also want to give their best, whether they are vendors, whether they are entrepreneurs who are there. Ki, look, like Nana is doing so much, she really cares about us as a person. So the human touch really, really matters.
I think, thank you so much, Pragati. Pragati, you're also an author. Why don't you tell us a little about the book that you've written? I really wanted to, I'm so intrigued by that, and I wanted you to share something about it.
Sure. I'm going to pick up, I actually have 2 books. First one is Hope, Stories for a Healthy Mind. This is published by Scholastic, and it's widely available in your neighborhood bookstore and on Amazon. So here what I realized while counseling, now because of the West, because of certain movies, people have become receptive to the idea of going for therapy if they see that the child is getting bullied or if the child is performing poorly at school. But what I also realized, it's like, taking the dentist for cavities and not making your child brush his teeth every day at night, So certain things have to be done at home so that, the cavity doesn't develop. The certain food habits have to be changed. Unfortunately, for mental health, we don't have such a book, So I sat down and I penned it down. So there are 3 stories. First is about a child whose performance is dipping in school. So what he did is, when the teacher noticed some signs, she called the parents and she hugged the child, and the child realized that whatever was happening at home was not his fault. These days, parents, average parents, everybody's bickering at home, because stress is the constant companion in marriages, and everyone's overworked, there are deadlines, there's everything. My take is, since you've gone through the pain of having them, and since you're working so hard to prepare the best, certain basic emotional hygiene etiquette has to come into families. So this, I remember I was doing a workshop for parents and children, and one of the fathers who was there, he told me ki, his son had written something, and he said ki, I realize my son gets angry, the 6-year-old, because I am always screaming and yelling. And Prakti, I have realized that now I'm going to tone my voice down, whenever he's around, whether I'm yelling at a staff at work or at XYZ, he's picking up the wrong message. So this was my purpose for writing the book. Secondly, one of the stories addresses if a family member has depression and there are some symptoms, how do you talk to a child? Because now there is someone or the other. Alprax is literally prescribed by general physicians, something which is a bit of, because any kind of insomnia issues or something, it's very, very common. So children see mood swings, but they don't understand it. So here, how do you talk to a child if somebody is undergoing some kind of an mental health problem? So these are some of the stories that I have tried to tackle. Ki how you sitting as a parent who care for your child, how can you nurture the child's self-esteem? How can you talk to the child about this, so that like you discuss arithmetic, like you discuss values or English, just talk to him about mental health and he'll learn how to take care of his or her mental health.
Correct, correct. Oh, that's great to know, Pragati. I'm sure I'm definitely gonna go get my hands on your book and read it out. And so looking forward to checking it. And thank you so much for sharing it with us. Before we end the session, we'll just see if you have any questions and just take them, and then we'll end the session here. So I think. Okay. Guys, if you have any questions, please do send them right now, because then we'll be ending the session soon. So Charming Desert Rose has written that I'm feeling very sad and depressed, feel like crying all the time, missing my family back in India. Okay. I have guilt that I don't take care of my small daughter. What should I do? I end up crying. Okay.
One is I request you to start journaling, and I request you to talk through a therapist ASAP, because what I am sensing is there are a lot of emotions which are in turbulence right now. So first we need to come to a point where your sadness or your guilt, you are able to vent out in a safe place. If you have a friend or a family member, even that works. But unfortunately, what's seen is moment you went out to a friend or a family member, most of the time they invalidate you. They say, oh, don't feel like that, or everybody is feeling like that. So, for me, I've realized is like you got to bathe daily. It doesn't matter whether your child has had a bath or husband. For yourself, you still need to bathe. So, in the same way, you need to cleanse your mental dilemmas by yourself. And if you are unable to, just reach out and help. In case you are still feeling a little reluctant to reach out, you could also start journaling, so that, at least there is a bit of catharsis. Some kind of regular exercise also releases endorphins in our body. And meditation, some form of prayers will help you. But my request to you is, if it's been longer than 2 weeks, please reach out for help. There's ample help available. And like I shared, and I'll share it with you, please share with your viewers, if they want to, they can always reach out. The number will, in fact, I'll probably put the number in the comment section, so they can.
Yes, guys. So if you have any such issues, please you can reach out to Pragati as well. You can always DM on a handle or mail her, or just contact on the number she's providing. So
Yes.
she's
Or
always
you
there
can
to
just
help you
drop a
out.
line on my page also, so then I'll kind of get back to you, and I'll, give you the appropriate person whom you could speak to. So take care, and, thank you for sharing your concern, Charming Desert, because it takes a lot of courage to talk about what you're going through. And I think the first step to feeling better is acknowledging that something is not okay. And really, it takes a lot of courage. So you've already begun the first step. So please go ahead and take care of yourself.
Thank you so much, Pragati, and for joining us today and sharing such thoughts on this topic, which really needs to be talked about, and it's something that is it's a very difficult thing for a lot of people, and people are facing it. It's the reality right now, and but we're not able to open up and talk about it so freely. But thank you for people like you who are there to talk about it, who are doing such amazing sessions on their channels, on their pages, and always talking about it, writing some amazing books like you do, and coming on our page and talking more about it. So thank you so much, Pragati, for coming and joining us today for this live, and I hope to see you soon, very soon.
Thank you, Dana. Thank you, viewers. Take care. Bye-bye. Have a great Sunday.
Thank you, everybody who joined us today, and I really hope you enjoyed this session. Bye, Pragati. Guys, so Pragati has left her number here. If you have any such issues, you can directly contact her, or you can DM her or mail your issues to her. She'll help you out. And like she said, please seek out help if you have any mental health issues. Please don't hesitate or just shy away from them. In other news, I have something really important to share with you guys, which is that Anati Wagon is coming to Singapore very soon, this month itself, and we'll start shipping to Singapore, and we are bringing some of your favorite brands. So if you have any friends or family there in Singapore, please let them know, and you can follow our Singapore page for all the other news and updates, and rest we'll keep you posted. So yeah, so this is the news I wanted to share with you guys, and we'll be doing more live sessions, and I'll see you again then. Till then, keep watching, keep following us, keep showing love. Bye.